Welcome back, Fantasy Fiction Fanatics. It's great to see you again, and I hope you're doing well. Today, before we get started, I'd just really like to say Happy New Year. I hope you guys all had a great holiday season, and thank you for being patient with me since I have not been uploading as frequently and as good as I usually do with the holidays and a lot of things going on. I appreciate your patience, and I also really like to thank everybody for continuing to stick with me. The last 6 years of doing this channel has been really fun to talk and discuss with you guys, and I really appreciate you guys subscribing and continuing to show up and interested in what I have to say about fantasy and these books. So thank you so much to all my subscribers, and especially to those who have stuck with me since the beginning and continue to show up. Hopefully this year I can continue to make great content for you guys. We're going to go ahead and start this year off with a cover analysis, just something fun and easy where I can go ahead and see if I can look at a cover and figure out what it's going to be about before reading the description. So let me grab my iPad here. Okay. Okay, it wasn't turning on. I was about to be concerned. All right. So, okay, I do have just a fantasy list up from Goodreads. That's what I've got on here right now. I know it shows like all the Harry Potters here starting off that I've all read, but we're gonna go ahead and scroll until I find something random that I haven't read, I don't know anything about, and we will see if I can figure out what the book's about without knowing anything but the cover. And then we will find out how right or wrong I am. Hopefully you guys will share with me what you guys think based on the cover as well, and you can get a test to see what you think the cover would look like. Let's do this one. Okay, so this is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. Never heard of this book, never heard of this author at all. I don't know if you guys know this author, but let me go ahead and bring up the book cover here. Okay. So this is an interesting looking cover. We've got quite a few details to work with. So let's start with just the title. The title of being uprooted could most likely be referring to, either a plant being uprooted, or maybe, having somebody uprooted from their life, being pulled out, being displaced. So my guess is that this is going to have something with, at least referring to the title, might mean that there's somebody that's having their life kind of changed. There is a plant on our cover here, right in the center, this rose. So it could be like a double meaning, like there could be this rose as like a symbol of being her life uprooted and having to figure out a new life and a new way to live. We do have some different elements on here. We've got at the very bottom of our cover here, we've got these plants that are like spiraling and twisting around the bottom. It looks like maybe a tree with big roots on the bottom and twisting and going around the edge decoratively. So again, it has to do with the plant vibe being uprooted. The flower in the center, maybe this is the plant that the flower comes on. We've got some characters here. So the main big character is a woman with this brown hair in the center, holding this rose. I feel like that might be the main character. I think maybe she might have magic. We've got this little still on the side. What could that be? Above that we have a bird, and above that we have a different woman with blonde hair, and it's all held in a tower. So I think this is gonna have something to do with like fairy tales. Like it gives me a very much of like a Beauty and a Beast, Snow White kind of vibe. Like especially with the still and the bird. and the tower. So it definitely feels like story is going to have fairy tale vibes. We do have a sword going across the top, so some kind of adventure, something like that. We've got a three-headed dragon, though at least I'm assuming it's a dragon. Three-headed monster of some kind, serpentine, I don't know. And it doesn't look all that like menacing though. It looks kind of friendly. And we got this book that's showing books flying up into the sky, and we've got this, it looks like a male's face with like his eye and his nose and like half of his mouth peeking out. And again, it's kind of similar to like the tower, except it's more like it's underground maybe. So we have a lot of elements to work with, and I feel like all these elements are hard to piece together what I think the actual story is based on them, because they all just feel like they're generic, if you know what I mean. Definitely fairy tale vibes, Beauty Beast, Snow White, something like that. So I think it's either going to be, no, I don't think it's going to be an urban fantasy. I think this is going to be like a true fantasy, high fantasy. I think this woman in the center is going to be uprooted from her life, possibly even cursed. And this flower is like the key to the curse or the spell or whatever it is that is her obstacle. I do think that there's going to be this three-headed serpent dragon thing somewhere obviously involved. The question is it an enemy? Is it a pet? I feel like it's going to be a pet. It looks friendly. So, I don't know. And then maybe because of this curse, you know, she's going to have to do some magic. Like, she's going to get into magic and try and, like, break her curse. And that's going to be, like, the magic experiments. And her bird's going to be the friend. I can't totally tell about the woman in the tower, what that's going to say. I feel like the guy is going to be like a hero of some kind, and he might use the sword. So I think overall this is going to be like a fairy tale themed story with this woman who's trying to break her curse that has like uprooted her life and has changed everything, and this flower is like the key to killing her curse. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. So let's go ahead and read our description and see if it's anything like what I just described. Okay. Our dragon doesn't eat the girls he takes, no matter what stories they tell outside our valley. We hear them sometimes from travelers passing through. They talk as though we were doing human sacrifice and he were a real dragon. Of course, that's not true. He may be a wizard and immortal, but he's still a man. Okay, I'm reading that right, guys, sorry. He's still a man, and our fathers would band together and kill him if he wanted to eat one of us every 10 years. He protects us against the wood, and we're grateful, but not that grateful. Agnieszka loves her valley home. Her quiet village, the forests, and the bright, shining river, with the corrupted wood stands on the border, full of malevolent power. And as its shadow lies over her life, her people rely on the cold-driven wizard known as the dragon to keep its powers at bay. But he demands a terrible price for his help. One young woman handed over to serve him for 10 years. A fate almost as terrible as falling to the wood. The next choosing is fast approaching, and Agnieszka is afraid. She knows everyone knows that the dragon will take Cassia. Beautiful, graceful, brave Cassia. All the things Agnieszka isn't, and her dearest friend in the world, and there is no way to save her. But Agnieszka fears the wrong thing, for when the dragon comes, it is not Cassia he will choose. Okay, sorry, that was kind of a terrible reading of this. The names kind of tripped me up, and some of the things I didn't sound right until I looked back and I was like, yes, I read it right. So, sorry about that. But I got the right thing in the fact that I think the wizard man that they called the dragon might be what was shown as the three-headed dragon. Well, no, there's a man there, so it's probably him. I don't know about the three-headed dragon then. I thought maybe there really is a dragon in the end, and he's not that bad. Maybe I'm right. Maybe it's gonna be a pet to the wizard. But it's about a girl whose life is uprooted. It's not about a curse, though. It's about, having to go and serve the wizard, because obviously it makes it seem like that girl is gonna have to serve versus her friend, and her friend then is on that cover. And then she's gonna be at least working with magic, so it's not about experiments for her per se to break her curse, but it is about her working with magic with that wizard because she's gonna be serving him for 10 years. So I feel like I got a couple details kind of close, but in general I just got it really wrong. We don't have any mention of what the flower is or anything like that. We have no idea what the sword's about. So, well, I didn't get it quite right. What did you guys think? Did you guys get closer? I'd love to hear what you thought about this cover. I do think it does sound like an interesting story, though. This is something that I would check out, and maybe I will be able to talk about it in the future on the channel. If you've read it, please let me know what you think about it. And yeah, I would just love to hear whatever you have to say about any of this. And thank you so much again for stopping by and talking with me, especially at the beginning of this new year. The next class will be up next week. I promise we'll be finishing Homeland, so that way we can start our second books on both the series that we're on shortly. I guess that is it for me today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.